Good and healthy friendships require a significant amount of similarity and compatibility in order for them to work and to be mutually beneficial. No two friends, or just two people in general, have 100% similarity on every aspect of life. However, on very fundamental and foundational issues, the compatibility should be at least 90% or above. The higher the percentage, the better. One of these issues where compatibility is absolutely necessary is in terms of political views. Generally, humans gravitate towards those who share the same beliefs that they themselves have. And this includes politics. Democrats mainly have Democrat friends, and Republicans mainly have Republican friends. This isn't an accident, it's by design. But does this mean that you can never be friends, or at the very least get along with people who have significant differences from you politically? Is it possible to have a friendship with someone who has very different views, barring the possibility of them being radical leftists or far right? In today's quote, interconnected world, we are able to see different kinds of people with completely different viewpoints. This was something that was not possible before, at least not to the same degree, not even close. Thanks to the internet, the spread and availability of information has accelerated, and this trend is only going to increase thanks to things like AI and improvements in digital technology. Sometimes this can give us the illusion that we are more tolerant and open, but in reality, we are merely exposed to different viewpoints. Becoming more open and tolerant isn't just about hearing someone speak, but empathizing with them. It means putting yourself in their shoes and seeing their internal psychological dynamics. You discover for yourself why they think the way they do, without necessarily having to agree with them. This is one of the hallmarks of true intellectualism that has become quite rare, even amongst public intellectuals themselves. When you can't do this with other people, you cannot possibly be their friend because you will constantly be at odds with them politically. Every discussion will become a battle zone, and that quickly becomes emotionally draining. We also have to take into account the general rapport you have with a certain individual. How much do you guys know each other? If you guys aren't so close, then it's probably best to avoid emotionally charged topics such as politics. When first meeting someone, you want to put your best foot forward. So, oftentimes this means avoiding talking about politics. This isn't deception or being fake, but more so being strategic. You might be someone who loves politics and wants someone to talk to about it. But in order to find someone who you can talk to about it in a civil and calm manner, you need to move slowly. You cannot go really fast right away because you can risk alienating people who might otherwise be good friends to you. A good friend is someone who will be able to sit down and talk about tough topics without getting overly emotional and angry, especially when there comes a disagreement, which every friendship has. No friendship has zero disagreements. This will be impossible to do with people you disagree with, especially on politics. So many people can't seem to get past someone's political views, and those views determine how they view others and their judgment of them. When someone says, I'm a liberal or conservative, people automatically assume things in order to categorize such a person to make a quick decision to see if they are worth getting to know. On the one hand, this is understandable since we have to save time and develop skills to figure out what kind of people we want to be friends with. On the other hand, though, when done too much, we risk assuming far beyond what the label suggests, and we open up the door to judging based on more qualities in addition to one's political opinions. How is it possible to maintain a friendship, especially an emotionally intimate one, with someone who just judges you based on who you voted for and what kind of politics you subscribe to? Can you actually trust such a person with your deep thoughts and feelings? The answer is obvious. No. You cannot trust someone who will make harsh judgments about you based on your political beliefs. One can argue that maybe it's better to just not focus on politics or even make it an important part of the relationship. And sure, that can work for some people. But in my opinion, I don't think this is feasible for the majority of people because politics has become such a fundamental part of our being, and ignoring it is almost tantamount to ignoring who you truly are. It is not worth suppressing an important part of who you are in order to just be friends with someone. Trust me, no person is worth this level of sacrifice unless you both mutually agree to abide by this rule. If it is only one way, then it is definitely not worth it. However, even when both of you agree to this rule, just know that it will not be so easy. You will have to hone your communication skills in other ways and bolster your relationship in a way that goes around such a fundamental belief like political views. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult. But maybe it's worth it to some people out there. You just have to know who you are. So that's it for this video. If you like this content, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share to get notified about more videos like this one. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.